The man suddenly realized something terrifying. Two civilians were just told they could run to safety, but as soon as they stepped out they were gunned down. Right away he knew something was off. Then his boss, Old White, tossed him a gem worth $1 million and bluntly told him,
70 seconds.
That's when it finally hit him. Old White had lured him to the Myanmar border, just to make him the next target for a group of rich hunters. These people weren't playing around, and he had no way out. With no other choice he ran into the thick jungle. Sure enough, once the time started, the rich guys geared up and took off, excited as ever. But what they didn't expect was that the rules of this hunt were about to change. The man's name was Nick. He used to be a top-tier MMA fighter. Now he was in serious danger. Soon he found a dead body by a stream, clearly the victim of a previous hunt. But instead of panicking, Nick calmly knelt down to scoop some water. Then suddenly, a shot rang out. Luckily it missed, and when the shooter fired again, Nick still managed to dodge. Using the sound of the gun, Nick quickly pinpointed where the shooter was. Seeing the guy charging over in frustration, Nick silently slipped into the water to hide. The man rushed to the riverbank, but Nick had already vanished. As he looked around, Nick suddenly jumped out and dragged him into the water, then landed a series of brutal punches. The guy was left dazed and barely conscious. He begged for mercy, and Nick hesitated for a second, so he stopped, but that gave the guy a chance to strike back. By the time Nick realized, it was already too late. The guy pulled out a hidden knife and came at Nick again, but he completely underestimated his opponent and paid the price for it. Nick countered with a heavy blow, sending him crashing into a rock. He wasn't getting up from that. After it was over, Nick quietly disappeared from the scene. Old White and his team arrived shortly after. They were all shocked. The man was dead. For the first time in their twisted hunting games, a hunter had been killed, but instead of backing down, these bloodthirsty maniacs were even more fired up. Meanwhile, Nick had made it far from the scene and started regretting ever accepting Old White's invitation.